Hey, how you doing? I'm Pete Smith. Do you still have cable TV? If so, why?
PQS Self-Express.
Hey, I'm Pete Smith, here on Talks on Walks, where I walk out in the woods and do some talking. Thanks for checking this out. Don't forget, if you like my channel, my YouTube channel, please subscribe or go there, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's fine too. Any interaction helps on YouTube to get on their search engine and be figured into their algorithm. The more interaction somebody gets, good or bad, it's good for the channel. So, hey, do you have cable TV? You know, bottom line is, just get rid of it. It's crap, man. Go buy yourself, a monthly Netflix account, or Hulu, or Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus. I think you could probably get all four of those and more for the price you're paying for cable. And what are you getting? Well, if you watched my follow-up, my previous video, this is a follow-up to that. I told you, stop watching cable news. Because it's not news. Come on, let's face it. It's based on fear and anger. All for advertising. That's all it is. So why, for me, for me, that's why I had cable for a long time. It was because I wanted to watch the cable news channels, you know? But once I realized that those were just a hoax, I saw that I could save, I think it was $70, could have been more, $70 a month, just to have basic cable. And what is that? Well, that's like really about 40 stations that the cable company decided were good for you to watch. That's it. And most of them are crap. And you find yourself with the clicker, click, 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 click. People my age know it's hard to give up cable because you grew up with it. You grew up in a time period where it came out. It was born. So it really became a part of our lives. Matter of fact, I used to work for the cable company. That was my job. I was a service technician for Suburban Cable. I shouldn't really tell you to get rid of cable just because they were instrumental, or at least that's where I was working when my life changed and I got clean and sober. And they also, my mom worked for them. Suburban Cablevision in East Orange, New Jersey. Anyway, hey, it's time to change. You got to go with the program here. Cable is not worth the money, guys. Yeah, I remember the old brown box, the first box that came out. It had a cord on it. It was this huge box. And it had this plastic slide thing. You would slide it across the top. And then they came out with the three-tier brown box that had a little lever on the side that gave you 3 different rows, and each row had buttons. And if you push down like 2 or 3 of the buttons at the same time, like just halfway, you could get Showtime or HBO would come in. And they'd be playing like back then it was considered pornography, but it was really just like soft porn for the most part at the beginning. And if you held those buttons down just right, you'd get a fuzzy picture of HBO or Showtime. And it was like, whoa, look what I got. And then you'd wind up opening up your box, like with a screwdriver. You could open up the bottom of the box, open up the box and try and fiddle around with all the little copper dials in there and see if you could get it just right so you could get some of that good stuff coming in. And then you eventually would break the box and you have to call up, yeah, my box broke. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I think it fell off the counter or something. The darn cord always tripping over it. Because the boxes had a cord. Went back to another box that sat on the TV or on the floor. Man, that was some days. But, I used to, like I said, I was a service technician. So if you had trouble with the cable, the first thing we did was change the box, because that was the easiest thing to do. It was better than having to rerun wires or climb the telephone pole and fix the fittings at the telephone pole. So we'd swap out the boxes, and the boxes that were behind the TV, they actually would get warm. And if you went to areas that were pretty bad, those things would be filled with cockroaches because the cockroaches like the warmth in those boxes. So you'd go in there to swap out the box, and you grab the box and start wrapping the cord around it. And it was like, whoa, all these cockroaches would come out. But I digress. Those were good memories. It was a lot of fun. But what are you doing with cable? What are you doing still paying for cable? That's crazy. Hey, how you doing? You're paying $70, $80 for what? For, like I said, 40 or 50 stations, basically channels that they chose for you. And you flip through those, hoping that something good comes on, like magic. Yeah, occasionally there's something you want to see. Like I said, I used to like the cable news. It would get me all upset and riled up and everything. Politics, and it's all based on anger and fear. And some people like, there's AMC. You might have some good stations on there that had some good TV series now. But you can get most of those on any of the other pay services like Netflix or Hulu. You can get those. You might get them a month late, or even if it's 6 months later after the series is done on, say, cable. You're watching it, you don't know the difference, really. Those days are over where we used to sit around and say, hey, did you see, like when The Sopranos on HBO? Okay, so HBO. Let's take HBO. You can pay for that. You can pay just for HBO on your laptop or whatever. Or on, I think you can pay for it right with your Amazon Fire Stick or any of the other services. So you don't need cable, okay? It's just ridiculous to continue paying for cable TV. Like I said, you can find so many. I go on YouTube. Think of how many channels are on YouTube. I think YouTube is, last time I looked, I don't know, you could Google this, but it was something like 16 hours of video, new video posted every minute to YouTube. So you do a search in YouTube, you can find just about anything you want. So if there's something special, news conference, or, some sort of event that you think is just on cable, no. You can find it now anywhere, even just online. So those days are over, my friend. Get rid of the cable, okay? Let's get into the new millennium. You see the millennials care about cable? No, they don't care. When I got rid of my cable, my kids were like, cable? What's that? I don't watch it. I was like, you don't watch it? I've been paying for it. So, time to get into what century is this? 21st? Yeah, I think it is the 21st century. Even though it's 2000, isn't that weird? It's 2000, but it's the 21st century. Like 1999 was still in the 20th century. 1901 was the 20th century. It took me a little while to get my head wrapped around that, but now I understand. So, okay, well, thanks for watching. Look, I don't mean to be so hard on cable TV and Cablevision and the other cable companies. I don't know what they are anymore, but they were good to me when I was younger. Gave me a job, Somehow I managed to get clean and sober while working for them. But those days are over, my friend. Get rid of it now. Hey, it's Pete Smith on Talks on Walks, saying so long and be safe.